Good morning, guys. I went to bed at 1 a.m., but here we are up at 4 a.m. As usual, I have no soreness in my legs from yesterday's half marathon. So, yeah, pretty weird, but I'm going to get to it.
Today's session, as thoughts arise, briefly notice their unprompted and impermanent nature. Start by taking some deep breaths and try to release any tension as you breathe out.
System, a set of things working together as parts of a mechanism or an interconnecting network. Now, on this splendid morning at 4:35 a.m. on a Saturday, I want to talk about systems because my definition is very similar. I define it as a set of variables, not necessarily a set of things. And yeah, they work in tandem together in order to achieve a desired result. So a set of variables working together to achieve a desired result. Now, beyond that, when a system breaks, it is likely due to fault of one of those variables under different stressors. A system has what's called load in engineering of what is being throughputed to it, and that creates the amount of stress on the system. And sometimes when you build a system too rigid, that causes it to break. Now, the reason I'm talking about this is because yesterday the system broke. I woke up at 9 a.m. and the whole day, even though it was kind of a wash, I went through it. I got client work done. I did the basics, and then I went for a super long run. And I can definitely feel it in my legs right now, the remnants of that run. But the reason why I say it is because one of the stressors broke, which is the wake up time. But this is what people don't understand, and what I didn't understand for the longest time about optimizing, quote unquote, is I looked at the reasons why, and the obvious answer would just be like, yeah, bro, just wake up earlier. Like, hey, just like wake up next time and your day will be fine. And while that is true, you have to solve for the root cause as to why I went from not normally waking up at 9 a.m. to waking up at 9 a.m. What was the thing that caused a shift there? And if I look to what 99% of the time I see the stressor breaking the X variable that causes a routine to fall off when it comes to because the routine is the system to achieve a desired result of performance and work output. Most of the time, what falls off is actually the contributing habits, which lead to a more loose lifestyle. And then that loose lifestyle is what leads to staying up later and not waking up. That's what it is almost every single time. And for me, what that thing was that I had gotten loose on was meditation. And you guys might have noticed this, but I started meditating on camera, and I talked about my approach that was new, which was sitting there and just visualizing and trying to go through the whole thing myself. And it didn't really work. Yes, I got more visualization done, but I didn't get that peace that comes from just focusing on your breath. Because when you do that, it makes focus very easy right after, because it's almost as if you're priming your mind to be a monotask, so like a single tasked individual for the entire day. And I realized today that I can literally record myself while I just play the meditation audio. It's not that difficult. So I'm going to be doing that going forward. And that is the biggest thing that I had been missing over this week, where I felt good, but it was that one part of the system that is the routine I follow that was a little bit off and was therefore causing a little bit of a string on and run on of effects. So yeah, hope that makes sense. Okay, I just did an insane journaling session, and this is actually something I was reading about in my favorite book of all time, Science Getting Rich. This is my third or fourth time rereading it, and I want to point it out, and I just want to read my paraphrasing understanding of it. So I wrote, "I am already there. Seeing oneself in a reality that might not exist yet is man's most laborious task, yet one that underlines any changes in reality." And then I go on to talk about my skill as an editor, YouTuber, filmmaker, storyteller, researcher, etc. And I think it's such an important thing to bring up, because if you want to make change now, if you want to go from point A to point B, same talk about systems, the only way to get to a point B that doesn't exist yet in reality is to mentally project and accept its existence and what it would look like in reality. And by living in that world in point B, you can therefore take the actions in point A to pull yourself there. It makes sense when I explain it like that, but when you look at how we act on a day-to-day basis, it might not align. And I think it's super important that we understand, hey, sometimes you have to exist in a reality that might not necessarily be the one that you're just in right now, right? I see myself at 100,000 subs already. I see myself with the highest edits and the best motion graphics. Why? Well, because that's where I'm going. So if I don't see myself there, I'll never go there. Anyways, that is, again, another big learning, a big reflection. But when it comes to the plan for today, let me explain to you guys what I'm going to be doing. So you can see I keep the task list pretty darn simple. I have got client work. I'm going to do my ramp up, data. Gonna be just quick about getting that done. I'm gonna do my client work. Today, what I'm doing is I'm writing scripts. Every weekend, I like to go ahead and, I don't like this color. Every weekend, what I go and do is I write scripts, because it is probably the best thing for me to do to get my clients prepared for Monday, when we usually review the scripts, or if they want to record in advance. And I just like getting it done out of the way so I don't have to worry about it. And then that should take me about an hour. We got some really good client results this week, which I'm very happy about. And then after that, we're going to be editing the video, the big project that I'm working on, just chronologically. That's one of the biggest paradigm shifts that I've had to have, is I'm not going to be editing the video. Oh, let me lay out all the B-roll for the video. Let me do all this. Let me do all that. That's not going to work for this. The best creativity and the best editing at the end of the day comes when you don't treat it like a robotic process, but a creative one. And the easiest way to get the creative juices flowing is just to edit chronologically and get so intertwined in the story that you are putting together. And that's something I learned from Casey Neistat and his process, and something I'm going to be completely ripping and stealing. So not that he's the first person to edit chronologically, but just like I heard him say, and it made a lot of sense to me. So that's going to be the plan for today. And just as a final note, I have canned the idea of the business channel. I've completely canned it. Like, not like sideline, like canned. In the can. It's not being brought out of the can for the time being. And the reason why is because it violates my number one rule of when to start a new channel, which is, unless this channel has a completely different content style and a completely different offer that I'm trying to sell or goal behind the channel. Like in this case, I don't sell an offer on this personal channel, but there's a different goal behind it than my main channel, right? Which is for you guys to get to know me. So it violates that, because what it would essentially be is a boiled down version of just the advanced concepts that I share in the overall doc. But why would I launch this whole, and why would I launch a whole channel, do new packaging, do all this stuff for? Why? Well, it's because of just this fallacy of horizontal expansion when depth is what got me here. And having to explain these things to other people is a big paradigm shift. Again, so yeah, they're really, like I was talking about yesterday, we as humans look for a certainty of a future reality in order to precedent our actions today. That's kind of similar to what I was just talking about with like seeing where you want to be to act today, right? No guy is gonna lace up and run maybe even his first step unless he knows that he wants to run a marathon from it, or unless he knows he wants to lose weight from running. Yet, regardless, the action would still always be to run that first step. So for me, that certainty outcome final thing has changed, but we're gonna be really just going deep on this channel. It literally means, with the idea of the business channel that I have no other work to do other than edit this video. This is the weirdest feeling. I've never had this as an entrepreneur. We're outside delivering to clients. I have 19 days of just complete white noise, complete air. And I've already had 5 days of this. So it's actually close to an entire month of this. It's crazy. So it's what it takes to learn these new softwares, develop these new skills. And without further ado, it is 3 minutes till 5. So I'm going to get into the work. Okay, so you guys can probably barely see me, and it's because I am laying prone in my backyard, once again dealing with nicotine sickness. I just felt like I was gonna throw up, and I started like yakking like I was about to. I didn't, luckily. My body's not responding well to nicotine recently. It's only 2 milligrams too, which is the weird part, which usually I've been fine with, but I might even lower the amount that I have in the morning of the gum to just being 1 milligram. I don't think I can handle anymore, at least for now, which is crazy. I am a lightweight, to say the least. So yeah, I'm just chilling out here. I'm almost done client work. I have literally just like one more script to write, and then from that point on, that's good, taken care of, and I can start editing. Woo! One of the things, I saw this from Hormozi yesterday, and I think it is something that I've been saying a lot, so it's a good sign, which is the number one skill to make money or be successful in general is being willing to look like an idiot. And I don't know if you guys realize this, but funny enough, when you're willing to look like an idiot, you usually don't look like an idiot. And if you do, it's not for long. It's when you're not willing to look like an idiot that you end up looking like the biggest idiot, because you create all of this contingency and you're still dumb, right? If I sat here and told you guys, like, damn, I'm the best editor in the world, I would be the idiot, right? Or if I told you guys, like, hey, I got this figured out, I'd be the idiot. It's that I'm not an idiot because I'm willing to accept that I have no freaking clue how to do this yet. And I'm slowly learning and slowly getting better. And because of that, I'm gonna keep improving. Again, by the end of this month, you guys are gonna see I will have fully learned this skill and be extremely competent when it comes to making my specific style of video for it, and just keep improving. And that is, again, literally all I am doing. So yeah, I'm gonna be laying out here until I feel a little sense of rejuvenation. It's also a mini nap since I'm only running off 3 hours of sleep today. I'm gonna probably take another nap later, but get to just close my eyes, chill out, give my brain a little bit more energy, and then I will sit back down and finish this last script, then get into editing. All right, boys, so there's been some massive innovations with the videos. It is around 1 p.m. right now, and because we're only on 3 hours of sleep, that means we're going to be taking a little nap. So I'm going to be clonking out, and I'll give you guys an update when I'm back into the working stream. But I promise you, there has been another massive plot twist that probably nobody cares about yet, but I'll keep you guys updated. Peace. I just start like going through the video and like setting the active prior clips, labeling shit and whatnot. And as I'm going through and doing this, I look up and it's like 45 minutes later. And I have just planned out literally the entire hook of the video, and all I have to do is find B-roll. And I'm like, oh, that's what that's editing. That's what I'm supposed to be doing. What I was trying to do is literally just go through the project file with like no planning and like setting up of the angles and runs through it and like throwing mock B-roll in there or anything, and just trying to full animate through everything and expect my like first run through it to be the final. And because of that, I was making no progress. So it was almost like a theory of relativity Einstein moment where, if you don't know the story, he gave up on solving the theory of relativity, went to bed, and woke up and he was like, oh crap, that's the solution. And there's many such stories. So yeah, it's crazy that it just kind of works like that. So now I'm sitting here on a Saturday night just vibing, editing, and it finally makes sense to me. Yes, like this is the breakthrough when it comes to the editing, because I can now finally sit here and not only know how the tools work, but know how to put it together into a video and whatnot. And I feel so cool. I feel so cool just like having this screen and all the colors and looking at it with my LED. It just is awesome. So that's the update. Now what I'm gonna do is capitalize on this, get some editing done, and yeah, that is all.